Welcome to Conversations with Loulou. My name is Loulou Yazan. I'm an entrepreneur living in Dubai, an investor, a mother, and your host. My guest is Talal Tabbaa. He's a serial entrepreneur and the co-founder and chairman at CoinMENA, the latest crypto exchange to receive a very cool $9.5 million in funding. Talal has been a member of the Swiss Crypto Valley Association since 2017 and a board member of the Middle East Payment Services since 2019, so pretty much a veteran in the space. To learn more about Talal, you can check out the show's notes. So Talal, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Loulou. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so let's start with how did you get into this whole crypto business? I see you've been dabbling with it for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you're far too kind. I don't think anyone is an expert or a veteran in crypto.
That's true. Still nascent.
Still too early for anyone to call themselves an expert. But yeah, basically, I got into crypto. I first heard about crypto very early on, but I didn't actually go in. I heard about it in university from one of my neighbors and didn't think much of it. And then
you were studying in the US at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was studying engineering in Purdue University, middle of nowhere, in Indiana. Literally, there's 45,000 people living in the city, 42,000 students.
Okay.
But the city is the university.
Okay.
Not even a city, يعني. But one of my friends at university told me, no, Bitcoin. I didn't think much of it. And then 2 years later, my brother was in university, and they had a visiting professor called Bruce Fenton, who's the founding member of the Bitcoin Foundation.
Okay.
And he distributed $10 worth of Bitcoin to every student in that class. So my brother called me up, قال لي, Talal, remember this crazy thing you told me about a couple of years ago? Well, I have $10 worth of it, and I think it's worth looking into. Like, yeah, okay, sure. I was working at PwC at the time and born out of my ass. يعني ما,
Where were you?
I was in PwC Abu Dhabi,
okay.
But similar to everyone in consulting companies, they ship you to Saudi to recycle PowerPoint presentations and Excels.
Okay.
I was kind of bored of doing that. I used to spend almost all of my time either researching crypto, learning Solidity, which is the language that they use to code on Ethereum. Still not good at it, but I spent a good amount of time doing that. Then I left PwC to move to Saudi full time.
Okay.
I moved to Saudi to work with a family office, a member of the royal family, and I convinced them to buy a good amount of Bitcoin during 2015 and 2016.
Okay.
As you can imagine, it's not easy to buy large amounts of crypto if you're a politically exposed person. Plus, 2015, 2016, there was barely any options to do in the Middle East. And if there were, they weren't that reliable.
So you had to do it on chain? Is that how
No, I had to go to Switzerland like all rich people do. I wasn't rich, but my boss was rich. So
okay.
We went to Switzerland and we bought him Bitcoin and Ethereum using a regulated Swiss company, one of the largest crypto brokers. And then in early 2017, when they had made about 50x their initial investment, before the jump happened, yani we sold a bit early, I guess, but when you make 50x, alhamdulillah, no complaints
yes,
at all. Yani.
Of course.
But they sold before the big jump of 2017. Yani.
Okay.
That could have been a good 150x. But after that happened, I basically told them, no, and I thank you so much for the past few years, but I'll have to resign. There's nothing I can do in the coming 3 years that will match the financial returns of that. Bitcoin did the hard work, I took the credit. But yeah, basically at that time I was spending maybe 12, 14 hours a day,
okay.
Reading white papers, researching crypto. There's a book called Book of Satoshi that's about everything that Satoshi ever wrote online. And I've read that multiple times.
Okay.
Anyway, غصت بالموضوع. I went into it. I have quite an obsessive personality. That was all I did for a good few years. Then I connected with Yazan Barghuthi, who's my partner in both crypto companies that I've co-founded. I messaged him on LinkedIn. He was with me in school. And I saw that, I know he's a very smart guy. I saw that he had quit his job in New York and he's independently researching crypto. So I pinged him in 2016, 15. No one is independently researching crypto.
There was no PR, there was nothing about it.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing researching crypto? He's like, yeah, I'm working on this idea called Hawala, which ended up being Jibril, our first startup. We basically decided to quit my job in Saudi and like, okay, fine, we want to start a crypto company. Where do we go? Like, I have some connections in Switzerland because I had helped my ex-boss purchase and sell crypto there, and the amounts were quite sizable. Yani if you're the one coordinating for sales of above 100 million, you would establish a good relationship, or they would like to work with you, I guess, because they associate you with
money.
Exactly.
Okay.
I left Saudi and I moved to Switzerland full time.
That's a big move.
I think when I told my parents, by the way, I'm leaving Saudi. I had quit PwC to work for the Saudi prince for 3 years without a single document that was ever signed. I've never signed an employment contract. It was all, خلاص, come join us. Like, okay, fine. Started working, worked went well, and I used to get my salary paid, but we never actually had a signed document. I took quite a few risks early on, I guess.
But it seems like you found something at the crossroads of what you're passionate about and something that you have a skill in, and you kind of married that together. Because typically people say find your passion. Some people say no, that's bullshit. You should do something that you're really good at, because when you're good at something, you become passionate about it. So it feels like you have both in the crypto.
صح, but I wasn't good at crypto.
But you were an engineer, so you had some kind of background.
True. But I'm
like you were a painter, and then all of a sudden you decided to become a crypto.
100%.
So all that passion, all that research, and then you decide to launch CoinMENA. And my first question to you was, when we spoke earlier, is do we need another crypto exchange in the Middle East and North Africa region? And you said that we don't have enough. So do you want to talk more about this?
First point I'd like to correct, if you allow me,
yes, please.
is CoinMENA is not another exchange.
Okay.
CoinMENA is the exchange for the Middle East.
Okay.
And I say that with all humbleness.
Okay. Why do you say that though?
Because the reason...
Apart from being humble. So.
I know that did not come off as humble, but عادي, that's fine. We need to be confident to be able to become the best and biggest. But the reason why I started CoinMENA, or actually I didn't start it alone, it's Dina, Yazan, and myself. And for the first time ever, I'm doing something because there is an actual need. يعني in my previous company, it was more of a push economic model. Come up with some cool idea in the world of crypto, try to push it to the market and see if it works.
So in your previous company, you were building apps that work on the blockchain?
Yeah, exactly. Decentralized applications on Ethereum. Still ongoing.
Okay.
My partner Yazan is handling that, and Dina and I are fully focused on...
So you ship startups?
I guess if... you said serial entrepreneur in the beginning, and I don't think of myself as a serial entrepreneur. I was at the right place at the right time, and I took the risk. I think people over-celebrate. Allah, serial entrepreneur. Like, no, that's...
Well, you have raised funding for your previous startup.
Yeah.
And this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, but in the previous startup, the story was a lot crazier. We wanted to basically raise... We founded the company 2017. Mid-2017.
This is Jibril.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I registered the company in Switzerland. Okay. We got quite lucky to partner up with a guy called Patrick Storchenegger. I owe him so much. He's on the board of the Ethereum Foundation. He introduced me to Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum. He introduced me to a lot of the community there in Zug. It's a small village next to Switzerland, next to Zurich, called Zug. And actually, my wife has quite an interesting picture of my apartment there. It was just a mattress. I literally had my apartment there, was probably the size of this room, and it only had a mattress.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was an interesting time, going to Zug to set up that company. We said, okay, we want to explore a new way of raising money, which is an ICO, initial coin offering. Where essentially you're selling your token in exchange for crypto. And I remember coming to the Middle East to pitch it. And one VC actually laughed us out of the room. They asked one of the partners there, asked another partner to come and say, hey, listen, come listen what these guys want to do. They want to raise $33 million in 2 months. And he's like, by the way, our fund size is 30 million. I told him, yeah, that's your problem, not mine. We ended up raising the 33 million in 3 weeks from over 3,000 investors from
How did you do that? How did you do that?
internet.
Okay.
Not going through the traditional route of, Ahlan, please, VC, give me some money.
Yeah.
And now that I've raised from VCs, I can tell you that not all VCs are different. I think Beko Capital is probably the best investor, not probably, definitely the best investor in the Middle East.
Okay.
We've had them on board on CoinMENA, and it's like an extension of your team. Anyway, I'll get to that in a bit. But
yeah. So, no, but I'm curious, how did you do it? So you went, is it word of mouth? How did it happen? Because to raise 33 million, that's a lot of money.
Not really.
No?
No.
Is it Discord communities? Is it...
It is not limiting yourself to... our biggest investor, we raised 12.5 million from Korea, مثلا. We raised 9 million from China. And we raised 3 million from Australia. People in the Middle East, خلاص, they go to DIFC, to Riyadh, to... We did not want to limit ourselves geographically. Okay. And our minimum investment ticket was $50.
Okay.
Because it was an automated process. In Switzerland, صراحة, the Swiss are amazing. If you want to invest less than $3,000, you only need to submit a picture of your ID, no attestation, nothing.
Okay.
Because it's $3,000, what kind of money laundry risk is there? If you want to invest between 3 and 10, you need to do an extra check, which is called a liveness check.
Okay.
If you want someone to invest over 100,000, you have to meet them in person, or you have to have a recorded video call with them.
Okay.
That's what we did. We had a website where you could sign in, submit your passport, finish your KYC, and invest in our...
This is a third party, or you did this?
We built this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did your own KYC?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's a commodity. Today, that is زي البيض. It's like eggs. Every fintech company has a KYC process, and it's very easy to do.
Okay. And was it the same process in terms of like you had your deck, why were you raising 33 million?
حلو. Decks are overrated. You need to have a working product of some sort. But basically today in crypto, there's new ways of capital formation. Most ICOs or initial coin offerings don't even have commercial registrations.
Okay.
And
you don't have to be registered with the government to do it.
Why would
through an exchange or anything.
Why would I?
I don't know.
Yeah, people always say, let me go register a company. Okay, what are you doing first? Do you actually need to register a company? If the answer is yes, and if you want to be regulated, great. That's one way to do it. I guess, and I've tried both routes. Jibril, completely wild west, uncharted territory.
Okay.
And it was a very, very cool experience. And that project, we experimented so much. We did the world's first sukuk on the Ethereum blockchain with Al Hilal Bank in Abu Dhabi. We did first tokenized security, so a crypto that represents legal shares, also in ADGM. And launched many crypto products over the past couple of years. But going back to you started the question with why CoinMENA?
Why CoinMENA?
Why
yes.
CoinMENA?
Yes, we digressed.
During all that time, the question that I get asked...
You told me it's the exchange, it's not another exchange.
Yeah, because it solves a real market need. Okay. There's other exchanges in the Middle East that are doing an excellent job, and I wish them all the best. And I think it's important to note that a rising tide lifts all ships. There is a scenario where there's multiple billion-dollar exchanges or crypto businesses in the Middle East. So our success doesn't mean another exchange's failure, or their success doesn't mean our failure.
Okay.
But during that time when I was doing Jibril full-time, the question that I get asked the most, obviously other than me and my wife saying, what do we want to eat, is where do I buy or sell Bitcoin or Ethereum? I would always send them to options and they wouldn't be satisfied. And then...
But we are doing that. When there's a will, there's a way, so...
Sure, but none that were convenient and had top customer service.
Okay.
I was a very angry customer of one of exchanges in the Middle East. And there was one person in that exchange that was always able to resolve my issues. She's my current partner, and I'm proud to be working with her because she's really hardworking and extremely switched on. Dina, she's the managing director of CoinMENA and the founder as well. We started it together essentially. I received a call from a friend saying, hey, do you want to invest in this crypto exchange? I'm like, what crypto exchange? Apparently, my partner Dina wanted to either join another exchange or do her own.
Okay.
And I told her, wait. And I remember me, Talal, I used to be your customer. And yeah, of course she remembered because I was a very angry customer. And I'm not that nice when I'm angry, I guess. It was it was a memorable experience, but she was always able to resolve my issues.
Okay.
When I knew that she wanted to do that, I said, wait, let's do it together.
And you didn't choose of, you didn't think of going to the international exchanges?
No, I don't like the white man syndrome of, oh, I'm coming from San Francisco to the Middle East to help you solve your problems.
It's a service, right? It's a commodity ultimately. No?
Okay. I thought go to exchanges to buy. Sending customers. Yeah. I do that personally.
Yeah.
I do that personally.
Okay.
Or used to do that. Now I use CoinMENA. But it doesn't work for everyone, because I'll give you an example. An American exchange will onboard a banker that lives in downtown Dubai. But they're not gonna onboard Abu Muhammad from Al-Qoz, because for them, the risk versus reward doesn't make sense. Middle East is still considered mid to high risk countries. Foreign exchanges don't unless you're a high net worth individual or you're gonna trade large amounts of money, it's not worth it. Plus, it's not as easy coming to the Middle East. There's multiple exchanges. Hobby from China, Kraken from the US, they all came to the Middle East. Oh, we're opening up headquarters, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bahrain. They've left. The exchanges in the Middle East are doing a good job, but I don't think there's been enough product innovation.
Okay.
Today, what can you do on Middle Eastern exchanges?
Good question. What
can you do?
Apart from buying,
deposit dirham, riyal, buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, salam alaikum. That is it.
And some coins.
Ahla wa sahla. It's the same. What's the user journey? Deposit cash through wire or card or crypto. Buy or sell, list of 10, 20, 1,000 assets, I don't care.
Okay.
But what is the economic activity? Buying and selling of crypto.
Okay.
Which is the initial use case. But there is so much more.
So it's exchange 1.0.
حلو ممتاز. فنحن we don't call CoinMENA, or I don't call CoinMENA a crypto exchange. We're a crypto business.
Okay.
We will provide financial services built on crypto rails. So let me give you an example. If I'm an employee, a government employee in Jordan, for example, or Lebanon, or Iraq, or maybe in the GCC, it's not as bad. But in the developing world generally, if I want to take a payday loan, حتى even in the US, a payday loan is where I take a salary advance essentially. The interest rate annualized it's between 30 and 60%.
Wow.
Why? Because the loan is only for 10 days. I reach 15th of the month, and I have food to buy for my kids and whatnot. I go to take a salary advance. They charge me an annualized rate of 30 to 60%, even though there is 0% of me defaulting on that money, because they will deduct it from my salary.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Because the financial system, the current financial system, discriminates against low-income people.
Okay.
The current financial system is an unfair system that has only progressively gotten worse, which is why the wealth gap inequality has become so massive. I went on a tangent, but I'm going to tell you why this is relevant to crypto. Crypto doesn't discriminate. If I have $100 worth of Ethereum, I can get $60 worth of credit in 30 seconds without even disclosing any information. What do they care about? That you have enough collateral to take that loan. They don't care about your religion, color, background. If you have enough collateral, you're good for the credit. Whereas in the traditional world, it is a lot more relationship based. The point that I'm trying to make here is crypto is a better way of providing financial services, and CoinMENA in the coming year will start rolling out new financial services based on crypto rails, such as borrowing, lending, payments, passive investments.
Okay. But does this require regulation?
Yeah. And I talked about Jibril. CoinMENA is 100% halal.
Okay.
In the sense
you're regulated by the Central Bank
of Bahrain, yes.
Okay.
Central Bank of Bahrain have very clear crypto regulations, which we've been lucky and grateful that we've been able to get a license there. And we're getting licenses in other jurisdictions that allow us to provide other financial services.
Okay. We talk a lot about inclusion when you talk about crypto, right? But let's be honest. Is it really inclusive?
Today it's not.
Is Muhammad from Al-Qoz going to be able to buy $100 in Bitcoin?
Today, no. But the same logic applied 10 years ago. So let's take the example.
I feel it's very much for the tech elite, for people that are very much first of all, they have additional, because it's so volatile, it's so risky. Nobody's going to put all their money in crypto. So it's kind of like, okay, put 5 to 10% of your net worth or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different advice. So I feel that it's mostly for people that are, you know, very well educated, quite elite in a sense.
Today it is.
Yeah.
Today it is. Just like the iPhone was in 2006 or 7 when it was launched. The iPhone was the first smartphone.
Yeah.
2006, 7, who had smartphones? Only the tech elites. People that are wealthy, educated and whatnot. Then people said, okay, shit, smartphones are important. You had cheaper versions and more usable and more user-friendly versions of the smartphone come about. And now pretty much...
So we're still lacking that interface, right? We're still lacking that user-friendly, simple interface.
Yes, 100%. And today, what's even worse is to get into crypto, you need to have a bank account. There's not many ways around it. But let me talk specifically about the inclusion part, because this is a part that I feel very, very strongly about. The internet allowed us to move information instantly and cheaply, right? You can send an email, a WhatsApp from here to New York or Timbuktu, لوين ما بدك, for instantly and for free. So the internet essentially changed the way we view and access and disseminate information. 20 years ago, I needed to have رخصة تحرير. I needed to have a license to issue an article in a newspaper. Now I can shitpost on Twitter, I can post on Facebook, I can write a blog without asking for anyone's permission.
Yeah.
What did that lead to? It led to a lot of more content creators, that led to a lot more movement of information. Crypto will do the same thing for anything related to money. Today, if you have a smartphone, you can get financial services, because as long as I have a smartphone, I can access crypto. If I can access crypto, I can get financial services. User experience is still very bad.
So I can access crypto by downloading one of the exchange apps, CoinMENA, and then I'll be able to buy.
Yeah,
but then I need to have a bank account.
حلو. This bank account discussion is another philosophical topic that I guess I speak to way too often, but since first time on your show, I guess I'll do it anyway. When a new technology comes out, it always, not always, sometimes uses the infrastructure that was laid by its previous technology rail. Let me give you an example. When cars were first created, we used to have roads that are built for horses, not asphalt roads. First couple of years, they're like, yeah, cars aren't great. They don't work on these roads. And then they're like, oh, wait. Maybe we need to change. Cars are very important. Let's change the roads.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Then we started seeing asphalt roads, and cars became a huge part of our lives. No, we don't remember when cars came out, but we do remember this for sure. Remember when we used to use the telephone lines of our homes to get the internet across?
Yes.
ADSL. Why did we do that? Because we needed a way to get the internet to everyone. What does everyone has? Landlines. Okay, let's use outdated infrastructure to transmit this new technology. And then what happened? They're like, okay, shit, internet's amazing. Screw the phone, let's do fiber optics for everyone. This concept is it's called technology infrastructure inversion, where you have infrastructure that is used for a specific period of time, and then when you realize that technology is actually amazing, you drop the old stuff and you move to the new one. So this is what will happen for crypto. Today we use banks, we use debit cards, we use credit cards, we use money exchange houses. Why? Because everyone has them.
Yeah.
Once there's enough people using crypto, okay, why are we even using that? I'll give you the money in 2 + 2 days. If I wire money Thursday night, it arrives Sunday morning. وين نحن in the ice age ولا إيش؟ Crypto allows you to send value as easy as it is to send a WhatsApp message.
Who's buying today in MENA? Who's buying crypto? Like, do we know demographics? Where do they live? Are they men, women, young, old?
Wallah, I would love to see more women in this industry. We have quite a good amount of concentration of men.
I think maybe because people think it's too difficult. I don't understand it. I'm not going to do it. Men traditionally are more risk takers, so they say, let me delve into this.
Yeah, but I think that's changing. If you speak to and I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, and I'm a very.
I would love to say it's changing, by the way, but I mean, you can't look at MENA with one brush, right? So it might be more advanced in certain countries.
Akid, or certain cities within countries.
Yeah, that's true.
In Saudi, we're seeing quite an uptake from women in the past.
But it's mostly men, yeah?
Yeah, it's mostly men. It is
like 80%, 90%?
Yeah, not 90, 80%.
Okay.
Young? Yeah, age of 20 to 35. Huge overlap with sports interest.
Okay,
yeah.
How come?
This is not a phenomenon only for the Middle East, but globally. That's why you see all the crypto exchanges. Crypto.com are now sponsors of LA Lakers Staples Center.
Okay.
American Airlines Arena, Miami Heat, is now called FTX Arena.
Okay.
The Formula One Mercedes team is now FTX.
Okay.
Binance is sponsoring some. Why? Because 20 to 35-year-old males like sports mainly.
Okay.
There's also a huge overlap with gambling because
of leverage.
طبعا. By the way, and I need I need to make one thing clear. When I say, oh, crypto is so important, it's the future, it's important to acknowledge that most people in crypto today are technically speculating, which is closer to going to a casino than it is investing.
Yeah, let me put my money 6 months down the line, I'm going to double it, triple
There's
it.
nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just, in my opinion, a short-term phenomena. Because anyone can invest. Yani in internet companies in 1998 to 2001, where there was a huge internet bubble, you had to have an account with a US broker-dealer. You need to have access to NASDAQ, to New York Stock Exchange in order to buy. And in 1998, it wasn't as easy as logging in and doing it on your phone. Crypto is that easy.
You think people are taking too much risk, though?
It's
Do you
not
think
people.
they know that they need to diversify? Do you think they're doing, soundly, or they're just?
And I like to think of human actions based on circumstances.
Okay.
Today we live in a world where interest is almost zero.
Yes.
Which means you are rewarded to take risk. If interest rates is 10%, you have a good incentive to move your money and put it in the bank. And خلاص يلا 10%.
Like in Lebanon.
Yeah,
they got really rewarded.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
They got rewarded big time.
Yeah. What happened in Lebanon is an excellent example of why Bitcoin is important.
By the way, apparently Bitcoin mining is booming in Lebanon.
What is Bitcoin mining? Bitcoin mining allows you to, or I'm not going to go into what Bitcoin mining is, but what is it from an economic standpoint? You spend local currency, lira, Chinese, any currency locally, and you get something that you can take anywhere in the world. It's an
so you spend local currency to buy the equipment, to pay for
electricity.
Yeah.
You spend electricity locally, and then you take your money, and it's self-sovereign money. And I'm of the opinion that governments and humans should not control money supply. Central banks should not be controlling money supply because they will.
No, I mean.
So they do, yeah, but that won't last.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah, I know so. I'm confident it will happen.
Do you think that crypto is a threat to local currencies?
Of course.
And like when do you think this will happen?
It's already happened for some people.
Okay.
And I only use...
El Salvador?
Yeah, El Salvador is a different story.
What is it with El Salvador, by the way? The president tweeting, I'm buying the dip, etc.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, in 2012-13, they used to say only drug dealers use Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The people who hate, only drug dealers use it, only money laundering, like, okay, fine. And then they're like, only small investors invest in Bitcoin. When a couple of high-profile investors in the US said they support Bitcoin. They said, you know what, small investors? La, it's only small companies. And then Tesla bought with 1.5 billion. Now we're at the stage of, it's only small countries. So look at the progress, only drug dealers, only small investors, only small companies, now only small
countries.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, everyone in the world will have Bitcoin on their balance sheet in some way or form.
You think governments might use Bitcoin instead of gold, for example?
Yeah, it is.
Is it happening now?
They're not announcing it, but it's definitely happening.
Okay.
Because, and I think Bitcoin is the best form of money that the world has ever seen.
Money or store of value?
Okay, money has three different use cases or three different purposes. Store of value is one, unit of measure is the other, and medium of exchange. These are the three metrics that we use to evaluate whether it's good or bad money.
Okay.
How well does it store value? Can I use it to measure stuff? And is it a medium of exchange? Another way to put it is money is a way to move economic value over time and space. Let me dig into each of these three a little bit more and try to convince you why Bitcoin is the best form of money this world has ever seen.
Okay. Bitcoin specifically or crypto?
No, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bitcoin. Crypto is insanely exciting and has a lot of potential, but Bitcoin has a proven use case today. Ethereum probably has as well.
Yeah,
but Ethereum, I'm a huge fan of Ethereum. I spent the past 4 years mostly on Ethereum. Building stuff on it, learning it, meeting the team. I'm maybe 70% of my net worth is in Ethereum. So I love it, but it has execution risk. Ethereum will upgrade next year to a new system. عادي, in technology sometimes things can go bad.
Yeah.
Bitcoin خلاص, it's done. Bitcoin has won. Bitcoin will be the digital replacement for gold in the coming 20 years.
Okay. Why is it the best?
حلو.
Yeah.
تمام. Let's go through each of them.
Okay.
And just to acknowledge, the unit of measure hasn't become a thing yet. It will become, but let me explain why it hasn't. Medium of exchange, okay? Bitcoin is the best and fastest way to send money anywhere around the world. Why? Because the current system is so messed up. If I'm sending dollars from Dubai to Amman, do you know how it moves?
It has to go to the US, right?
Okay, they use something called the correspondent banking system. Let's say I want to move money from Egypt to Nairobi. Dollars. Local bank in Egypt, local bank in Nairobi. The local bank in Egypt doesn't know the local bank in Nairobi. They go through what's called a clearing bank, a USD clearing bank. A bank that gives them permission to use this precious US dollar. Okay, the money goes from this small bank in Nairobi to the USD clearing bank, usually JP Morgan, Citi, the gatekeepers of the USD. They clear that money with the US Federal Reserve, which sits in the US. That sends it to the clearing bank in Egypt, who sends it to the local bank in Egypt. So we go through all that route just to move money from point A to point B. And I have to disclose so much information. What's the amount? Who is it going to? Who is it going from?
Why? Yeah.
Why? All those reasons. And we've seen the US dollar being used as a way of financial warfare.
Yeah.
No more money to Iran, no more money to Syria. No more. طيب إيش يعني? Are you the referee of the world or what يعني? In Bitcoin, there is no such thing as that. You can send money anywhere with any amount, and it's instant. It's 24/7. There's no New Year's, and it's instant settlement. Medium of exchange, Bitcoin is the best way to move money around.
Do you pay fees, by the way?
Yes, you do pay fees. Pay fees, but
are
the fees are
the gas fees?
Gas fees على Ethereum.
Okay.
Bitcoin fees, network fees is on Bitcoin.
Okay.
Store of value. Store of value is my favorite out of all of them because it's a concept that a lot of people don't think about, but it's insanely important. Do you know that about 38 to 40% of all US dollars in existence since the start of the US dollar in 1907 were created in the past 18 months? It is an insane statistic that a lot of people simply don't pay attention to.
30%?
30 to 40% of all US dollars
in circulation.
Yes, were created in the past 18 months as a response to COVID or messed up government policies. That's actually the reason why Bitcoin was released. Bitcoin was released in 2008 after the financial crisis happened. And the first Bitcoin block ever talks about how the governments bailed out the banks.
Okay.
There's a concept, to talk about store of value, we need to talk about soft money versus hard money. Okay? Hard money is money that no individual or company or country can increase the supply as they wish.
Okay.
Real estate is hard money. You can't increase the supply to infinity. ليش? There's limited land, there's limited space on earth.
Okay.
Gold is also another one. You can't create synthetic gold. It's not easy. and there's only 200,000 tons of gold above the surface of the earth, and the supply of gold increases by 1 to 2% maximum a year. That's why gold historically has been a very, very good store of value. Why? Because some guy in New York or St. Louis or where the Federal Reserve is can't wake up and one day, you know what, we're going to print $3 billion. You always hear about, مثلا, is Biden going to pass that bill to print $2 trillion? Where are they getting this $2 trillion? They're printing it out of thin air. The US dollar used to be backed up by gold until 1971. When President Nixon of the United States said, you know what, the dollar used to be exchanged for gold, now it's no longer convertible. Why is the link important? لأنه by linking it to gold, there's a way to measure that the government is not screwing us over. Because they can't print as much money as they want and use it as they wish without having some checks and balances. Since 1971, the US dollar has lost over 80% of its purchasing power because it is no longer linked to an underlying asset. An underlying asset that has fixed supply. Okay. Gold used to be the best store of value. Why? Because as I said, the supply of gold increases only 1 to 2% a year. With Bitcoin, it is the first asset with a perfectly inelastic supply. What does a perfectly inelastic supply mean? A perfectly inelastic supply means that no matter what happens to the price, I can't create more Bitcoin. Bitcoin, no matter what happens to price, there will only be a specific amount of Bitcoin that
21 million?
21 million. And it is released every 10 minutes, regardless of what happens. For the first time ever, I can tell you the supply of an asset 10 years ago, 10 years from now. Yani if you tell me what will be Bitcoin's supply in 2051 on December 3rd, I can tell you. عادي.
When does it?
2140.
2140.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So quite.
And then what happens? Then there is this 21 million Bitcoin in circulation, and that's it.
Hello. What happens today? What is this? This is maybe a slightly technical one, but I promise you I won't spend more than a minute on it because this is something that people think about quite often. Actually, not a lot of people, just idiots like me that spend all their time in crypto think about it. I'm sure normal people don't think of what's going to happen when Bitcoin reaches its full supply. But today, when there's a Bitcoin transaction, there is two types of things. There's the fee, which I said 76 cents, I'm paying to the miner, plus this miner receives newly issued Bitcoin.
Yes.
The Bitcoin that is created goes towards the miners. In 2140, this subsidy will no longer apply.
Yeah.
The miners will only receive the real transaction fees.
Okay.
Today...
So there's no more reward, quote unquote,
yeah,
for
just the
doing
fees.
These transactions.
Exactly, you just get the fees.
So mining will stop.
لا, mining will become a lot more efficient. Because today...
so mining is a service anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a service. It is a service. But
Okay.
today you're getting the real value of the service, which is the transaction fee that I'm paying as a customer. Plus you're getting another tip.
Exactly.
That's why mining is a very lucrative business. Because
okay, so when there's no more new Bitcoin to be issued, what happens to
miners
the miners?
will only receive...
They will charge a higher fee, maybe?
Possibly.
Okay.
Or their costs will be so efficient that they don't need to get the subsidy.
So the miners are the banks?
To some extent, yeah. You could think of it that way. Except there is no central mining company that controls it.
By the way, the miners are the banks because I can't send you money without having a miner.
100%. But you don't need a single miner's permission. Hello. What you're talking about is the difference between a centralized and a decentralized system.
Yeah.
Because you need to go through some...
But we say it is decentralized, but at the same time, you have these miners that are an extra layer, right? That sits between you and me.
Yep. But it's a decentralized layer. And if I want to send money to another part of the world,
fine,
and some miners don't like me, as long as 51% like me, خلاص, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas in banks, Uncle Sam can decide, you know what, no more payments to Syria. خلاص,
but you still have that layer, so it's not completely peer-to-peer.
Yeah, actually, the miners isn't even the issue. The issue is centralized exchanges like CoinMENA, Coinbase. You're going through them. We're acting like a bank today.
Yes.
يعني
You know, I was listening again to a podcast with a guy, I forgot his last name, Novogratz is his last
Mike
name.
Novogratz.
Mike Novogratz, yeah. And he was saying that you have to chew your own arm in order to grow a new one. Basically, he was saying that these exchanges, they're not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, eventually.
But then that adaptation is going to take so long. And then you need these exchanges as a medium, and then the technology will change, maybe to exactly what you were saying about like that infrastructure.
نحن CoinMENA, in 10 years' time, we will not look like this. We will not have a centralized exchange. But we need.
How do you see it happening? Like, how will the technology change? Is it, I tap your phone, I transfer the money to you? Like,
I don't know if we'll be even using phones by then.
Okay.
At the pace.
Through the metaverse?
At the pace things are changing. No, I don't own. He asked me, no, by the way, if you wanna let me know where you wanna park.
Yeah.
I don't own a car. I don't own anything that depreciates. I guess the point that you mentioned of how it's going to happen.
Yeah. We don't know, basically.
No one really knows.
And what would that infrastructure look like? Because you talked about the infrastructure, right? And we talked about inclusion as being a part of like the whole transfer of bitcoins, etc. So,
and I think the way that it will happen is a couple of things. First, you will no longer need to work in your geographic location. So you will have access to a global talent pool that you can pay for their work per task, or يعني, a lot of things will change. Why do we pay salaries on a monthly basis? Because some accountant has to put in the numbers, yalla, let's pay our monthly salary.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense today. The technology that's there today allows you to pay by the second if you want to. You can stream money if you want to. That's one of the things that I guess will change. But I also think that we will have a choice between publicly issued money and privately issued money. Just like we have a choice between public education and private education.
So it could be, by privately issued money, it could be the company's own coin, for example.
حلو. أيوة, Libra and Facebook. Facebook tried to do that.
Yeah.
ولعنوا أبوهم.
Yeah.
US government راح قالوا لهم stop this project now, no more Libra.
Yeah.
Why? Because the governments will not let go control of their currency without a fight, except if they don't have anything to fight. The example of Napster and LimeWire versus BitTorrents is an excellent one. Okay. I don't know, you remember Napster?
I know BitTorrents. I know.
BitTorrent
I don't know the connection.
Okay. LimeWire, كذا, these were, or Napster is the most popular one. Sean Parker, US entrepreneur, created a system that allows you to download music that's pirated and videos that are pirated online.
Yes.
I used to use it. I knew it was wrong, but still used it. What happened? The US government went to Sean Parker, threw him in jail, lawsuits, piracy, بصر شو. No more Napster. Why? There was a head
to
chop off, physical address, whatnot.
So that's why Bitcoin is anonymous.
حلو. BitTorrent, what did they do? You download music that's pirated from multiple people. The government can't go and chop a head off. BitTorrent still succeeds. How did the governments overcome it? Or how did the private sector overcome it? لأنه who's getting affected? This is a tangent, but actually a very interesting point that my partner actually told me about a few days ago. Pirated music was a big issue, right? You can't sue everyone. You can't put everyone in jail for doing it. So what do? You make, tech companies made it much more convenient to use non-pirated stuff. Netflix, Spotify, 99 cents on Apple Store. خلاص, why would I go to BitTorrent to download stuff that will give my computer AIDS? خلاص, just use Spotify, Apple, etc. The same thing I believe will happen in crypto. Libra and Facebook tried to issue their currency. They wanted to hang him. يعني the senators sent letters. Project stopped. Still hasn't seen the light of day.
True.
With Bitcoin, there is no physical address. There is no one party to kind of chop off. That's why I think now it's too late for governments to actually try and stop Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah, so you asked me how will the change in infrastructure work? We will have the choice between privately issued money and publicly issued money. And I do believe that in the coming 20 years, we will see the separation of state and money. Past 50 years, we saw separation of state and church. You used to define a country 20 years ago by what church or religion is governing it. It's no longer the case. Same thing will happen with money.
Okay, so it's like there was a separation of religion and state.
It's no longer enforced on you. Currencies are enforced on you. You have to use this money.
Yeah.
I don't think that will be the case in a world where remote work has become, if I want to pay someone $100 for their work and I want to send it through the banking system, it's messed up. I lose all the fees by the time the money arrives.
That was a big issue for us at Nabbish, by the way, my company, because when we wanted to send micro payments basically to people, you just simply couldn't send them by bank. So sometimes we had to go manually to a Western Union and try to send money to like Palestine or something.
Yeah, crypto solves that.
And pay like $10 per transaction.
Crypto solves that.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like
definitely not.
Like,
by the time we're there yet, Bitcoin will be at $600,000, not at 40 and 50.
Okay. That's your investment tip?
No investment tips. I never give investment tips.
You personally hold though cryptocurrencies, right?
I don't hold anything but crypto.
Really? Okay, well, you're fully in.
Yeah, I probably have maybe 4,000 or 5,000 dirhams.
Wow.
Outside of crypto.
And is it easy to exchange money? Like
Wallah, there's an exchange called CoinMENA.
Yeah.
ماشي حال. Yeah, it's easy. It's very easy.
Okay.
But that's again not investment advice, and that is a risk I decided to take, and I will live with its consequences, whether good or bad. Alhamdulillah, so far it's been good, but I wouldn't be able to forgive myself knowing what I know in 10 years to say I didn't go all in. Because in my opinion, I think crypto is still heavily mispriced. People always say, oh, volatility. طيب, volatility in the short term, 100%, because the market until today is still quite manipulated. It is no central authority controls.
What do you mean by manipulated?
Okay, so today, specific actions can have big impact on crypto's price.
By the way, isn't the majority of crypto owned by like a few people?
No, that is actually a misconception.
Okay.
On other cryptos, maybe. Bitcoin, not really. Bitcoin is quite decentralized.
Okay.
It is probably the most decentralized asset in the world.
Okay.
If you compare it to anything else, gold, dollars, real estate, Bitcoin is the most decentralized asset in terms of ownership split. And that's only becoming better and better over time. But yeah, volatility is because we're still going through a price discovery phase. No one knows what it's actually worth. But I'm a simple guy. Today, gold is $9 to $10 trillion. Bitcoin is $1 to $1.5 trillion. They both serve the same purpose. And in this world, digital is beating analog. Yeah. Amazon beat retail, Uber beat the taxis, Airbnb beat the hotels. Why doesn't the same apply to money or gold or value? For Bitcoin will eventually, for Bitcoin to become worth the same value as gold, it would need to trade at 600,000. In my opinion, it will not only reach 600,000, but it will actually supersede it. Because how is it for me and you, how easy is it for us to own gold? Quite easy, مش كتير صعب, but it will become much easier to own Bitcoin.
Can we end on with a couple of some advice, basically for people that haven't yet invested in crypto and are looking to do
Wallah,
it?
I don't like to give advice in general.
Okay.
Because no one knows. Disclaimer: CoinMENA. I'm part of CoinMENA, so biased. But today, if you go to our social media, there's a link that if you sign up with, you get $50 for free. So don't read about crypto, don't listen to this podcast. Actually, watch this podcast, but don't depend on this podcast or on something you read to understand crypto. Try it out yourself. If you go to CoinMENA, you can get $50 on sign up so that you test it out with a bonus.
Yeah, but you're testing the trading, but if you want to, learn more about it, so
read up. There is two very good resources.
Yeah, people you follow maybe on
the Bitcoin Standard by Dr. Saifeddin Ammous. Probably the best Bitcoin book in the world. Very, very good read. And then if you want to dig a bit deeper, Andreessen Horowitz, which is one of the best VCs in the world, they have something called Andreessen Horowitz Crypto School.
Okay.
16 lectures, each 20, 30 minutes, free, online, and by the time you finish those, you'll know just as much as I do in the crypto world. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that no one is an expert yet, but that's why it's exciting.
Okay. There's a lot of people anyway on Twitter as well that talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I've started becoming slightly more active
I think
on.
you have to look for the the
laser eyes.
Laser eyes,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's part of crypto that is a little bit close to a cult, but I guess it is what it is.
You've got those on your WhatsApp.
Yeah. I've had them for a long time, and actually I told my wife and friends that once, because this laser eyes is until we reach $100,000.
Okay.
And then you can remove them. Once
is that like
that's
an
a global thing? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Talal, that was like really, really interesting. There is so much more, by the way, I wanted to ask you about. I think maybe we will do another one in a few months' time.
Anytime.
It'll be interesting to see where the crypto is by that time anyway, and where CoinMENA is as well, and some of the products that you're offering, if there's anything new. But yeah, this is definitely a topic of conversation for everyone. At least in my circle, everyone's talking about it. So
nice. At least I hope I was semi-coherent in what I said.
No, it was great. It was great. I think we will cover more though. Again, I definitely want to talk more about NFTs and other types of coins and so on. But this is, I think, for another discussion.
Amazing.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Loulou.
Yeah. Take care.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for tuning into this great conversation with Talal Tabbaa, the co-founder and chairman at CoinMENA. If you want to learn more about them, you can visit coinmena.com. As usual, if you want to reach out to me for any reason, you can visit conversationswithloulou.com/contact. You can connect for guest feedback, guest recommendations, for consulting requests, for speaking opportunities, and more. You can also follow me or reach out to me on social media. I am on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on Instagram at the handle Loulou Yazan. As usual, please, if you like the show, I would invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way you'll get notified every time there is a new episode. And you can also subscribe on any of the podcast apps that you use, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anghami, Deezer, or wherever you listen to your podcast. If you can give us a rating and write a review, that will also go a long way in helping the show and getting discovered. I would really appreciate that. If anybody that you know would benefit from this content, make sure you forward it to them, friends, family, colleagues, whoever. I really appreciate your support, and thank you so much. See you in a few weeks.